let's come to something that I want to equip you with, which is the marketing funnel. Now, what is this? It looks a little, this is a simplistic version of it, trust me. So for starters, we're going to keep it. So marketing funnel describes your consumer journey across different stages of how they're going to interact with your business. So now let me just talk you through this. Excuse me. So awareness essentially is where they first heard your brand. So for the e-commerce business, if say our brand's name was, let's name it black salt. It was lying around me, so let's call it black salt. So if it was a funky brand called black salt and you're selling cool t-shirts, and so awareness would be that, okay, I'm someone who buys from H&M. I am buying from different t-shirt sellers. Say, look at these high street fashion labels that are very common and have penetrated the market. Maybe I'm buying from an H&M, a Jack and Jones, etc. Now I get to know about this new funky brand, which is called black salt. That is in the awareness stage. You might have just heard of it from someone, a friend. You might have seen an ad somewhere. You might have read about it online. You might have seen something on a YouTuber talking about it. So that is just only hearing about it is your awareness part of the funnel. Now, what is consideration? Consideration will be essentially where someone is going to buy a t-shirt and they are considering, okay, where do I buy it from? Now, I have a million t-shirts from the same brands, but I'm kind of bored of it. I want a different kind of fabric. I want a different design. I'm considering between different brands. So if you were, say, in the mall, let's take a physical example, you have different brands next to you, considering which to go to. That's consideration. You have a few options in your selection set. And basically, if you're one of the brands in the selection set, you fit in the consideration. So that is down the funnel, essentially. The next is, of course, for a very simplistic version, is conversion. A conversion essentially is the end of the funnel, whatever action your business goal is. Typically, if it was a simple business like e-com, it's a purchase. Finally, buying that product. So in our case, it is putting it online and purchasing it, paying for it, and that's your conversion. If we were simply, for example, as I mentioned, we were the economist, our purchase could be buying that subscription. But if we were a free model, a free product, our conversion could even be the end, like consumed 30 articles. So a conversion metric could be very different. It doesn't have to be associated with an exchange of money. A lot of business models are very, very different. Some business models run on data. All they want you to do is spend more time on their app. They get the data, and they are B2C from the information lens, and they are B2B from selling your information to others. So for you, for them, the conversion might just be you spending more time on their product, on their app, and then they essentially sell that information because that's user behavior. So there could be very different conversion metrics. Now, I want to talk a little bit about that. Anytime you start a business, you need to think about what is your customer's journey, what is that end conversion you are looking at. So if you were a t-shirt commerce business, you in the starting will care about revenue. What is revenue? That essentially will be the number of sales that you're making, right? So that you will care about. And if you care about revenue, your conversion metric will be a purchase. So that is something that we are bothered about. Another thing that I want to talk about across the funnel, which is not often talked about, is loyalty and advocacy. Loyalty is what a lot of you were talking about brand awareness. Is when a consumer becomes so loyal to you that they'll keep. So Colgate, I'm very loyal to it. I just buy Colgate because I've been buying it since I was a kid. Or for example, if you essentially use a specific bank, you're likely to use that bank. It's a high intent category. You have loyalty to that bank because you've seen success and you have faith in it. Advocacy is when someone is so loyal and they love your product, they are willing to write a review. They write a review on your app store. They write a review on Instagram. They tag you somewhere and they tell people like, this is amazing. You have to try. Exactly, recurring customers. That's how. So the difference between the first three parts is that this is bought media. That means that this is something that you buy for. To build awareness, consideration, and conversion, you typically, as a new startup, are going to put in money or effort. Like if you're putting zero money and working on free areas, even then, this is the space where you control the narrative and you are putting things out. Loyalty and advocacy is where the consumer, your end consumer, is marketing for you in another way. by coming back to you, by essentially talking to people about you. This is earned media. And these play hand in hand and they're very circular. This is probably a funnel, but they're circular. More advocacy leads to more awareness. More awareness leads to more advocacy and vice versa. So the circle actually completes. And we need to be very well aware of this part of marketing. The other part is that we're going to go to across the funnel, you have different channels of marketing that you can use, and I'll talk about it. And there are different key performance indicators, which is a KPI, which means your success metric. Now, I also want to tell you that the marketing funnel can be very detailed or it could be very broad. So we are going to essentially take it to this part. Now, let me just talk about this. Every time you Google a marketing funnel, it may have different parameters, a different permutation combination. Be comfortable with that. It essentially boils down to the three things I told you: awareness, consideration, and conversion. Just think of those three broad. It's that simplistic version that you need to know, and any startup marketer needs to know, or startup founder. So what are the first two, which is top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel? That is what these words mean. And against this, what you can see, these are some of the channels that fit under this. Now, even these channels are a mix that kind of move around. So an online ad is not necessarily an awareness piece. It is often, in fact, a very conversion piece, because you click on the ad and you simply go to purchase. That is also how that works. So you will find different channels across different awareness matrix. So this is something that I want you to be aware of. This is just one of the funnels, but it's always going to change.